Hi, and welcome to the Knitting Game and Other Stuff. Come on in.
Scissors and string. Soon it will be spring.
So today is March 27th, and today's episode is episode 58. I hope you all enjoyed the new intro tonight. It's something that I've been thinking of and scheming of for a while. You may also know that things look a little different than what you may be used to. So one, I have rearranged my room, and two, I'm standing tonight, so I may have some more movement. I have a gentleman at the office who has an actual standing desk that raises and lowers. He's got a bad back, so I figured, hey, why not? I have the room and I'll try to stand, and we'll see how this goes tonight. So I can also move back if need be and forward, and I think it'll be a little bit better and natural of an episode because I like to talk with my hands, and who doesn't? All right, so getting into things. My show notes, I am going to have show notes this week, so if you want to get links to the vendors that I use, the products that I talk about, groups, links, websites, everything like that, if you go to myordinaryjourney.com, it's all one word, you can get the show notes for the show, and it is somewhere up there. I'm not really sure where. Just up there somewhere. I don't know how the setup is, so I don't know where there's the nice blank space above my head. So anyway, getting into it this week, we had one new member join the group, and that is Stitchers. And Ruth, welcome to the group, and thank you for joining. Hopefully you have fun here and you enjoy the show. And then we have two birthdays this week. Very, very exciting stuff. First, we have Lightning, and that is Lynn. And then second, we have Stitches, Please, and that is Courtney, the host of the Fearless Knitter podcast. And both ladies, your birthdays are on the same day. So that makes it pretty convenient. So I'll remember that day very well. So happy birthday in advance. Let's see. So thank you, first of all, if you're here and you're watching, I really appreciate it. If you're new, doubly so, because you're taking a chance on me, and I really appreciate that. Hopefully you find me entertaining in a good way. So I guess it could be in a bad way, and nobody really wants that. All right, so some shout outs and announcements. The AF3 Charity Sock Yarn Club. I have everything together, and we'll be packing up the packages Friday night, and I will be sending those out on Saturday morning to everyone. So beginning of next week, don't be surprised if you get a little something something in the mail. So that's really great. Again, the Fredericksburg Spinners and Weavers Guild, our cookbook fundraiser, is now available for pre-order from our website, which is fswguild.org, all one word, and the pre-order forms are there. You just print it out and follow the instructions, and you too can share in everything good in Fredericksburg. So another little note. All right. So I don't know how to get into this. I would like to share with you the opportunity to join in a knit along. Steve and Callie from the Dramatic Knits podcast is hosting in April a knit along, and it's my pattern that they have chosen as the knit along. So I would encourage everyone to go over and check out the Dramatic Knits podcast. There's a link in the show notes, and the knit along is for the Three Willows cowl. It is my only pattern out, and what the deal is you knit along, and they're also, I'm going to be the featured designer in April. So if you post your finished objects in the race to the finish at the end of the month, the winner will get a copy of my cowl. Now, if you already have a copy of the cowl pattern, they'll gift you something else. So it's a win-win, okay? This cowl is a super crazy fun. It is super crazy fast. It takes like an afternoon, really, a couple of hours, and you're done. And bam, bam, bam. It's great for smooth yarns and art yarns and any kind of yarn you want, because there's not really a stitch definition type thing going on, so you don't have to worry about if, you know, the yarn being different. And it's very easy. I've included tutorials on how to execute the trick stitch, the special stitch in the pattern. It's not really a trick or special, but there's photos there. So hopefully you enjoy. Check it out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And you know what? I don't usually do knit-alongs because I'm not very good at them. So you know what? I think I might actually knit along in this one. Why not, right? It's so easy. I think I will do a two-toned cowl, maybe a three-tone. Oh, that would be awesome. I have 3 colors of yarn. Perfect. Yes. All right. Okay, I love this. I'm winging it sort of tonight and getting an idea of what I want to do. All right, so check that out. It's the Dramatic Knits podcast, and there is a link in my show notes. So go over there, have fun with Steve and Callie. Great folks. Love them to death. All right, so if you are new to the knitting game, usually what I do is I pick a book each month or so, and I pick several patterns that are sort of comparable to each other, and I put them in head-to-head competition. And whoever keeps winning and whoever wins at the end of the head-to-head competitions, that's a project that I'll knit, and I'll talk about it on the air, and I'll show the process of picking yarn and any problems I may have or anything like that. The last few months I've been doing something a little bit different. It hasn't been head-to-head competition per se, but I've done like this American Idol type, I guess, framework where you go in and you can vote as many times as you want for as many patterns as you want, and each week a pattern goes home. Now, I was doing this with the patterns that I've been gifted, so I can get working on some of those too and incorporate those into my knitting and talk about those, because normally those are paid patterns, you know, that you can download, which is great. So lately though, I have taken a step back, quite literally. Creaky knees, I wonder if you heard that. So I've taken a step back from that paradigm, and I haven't been doing the knitting game, the competition part of it, but I still have projects that I need to complete and work on from games past. So I'm trying to catch up with those and talk about technique and just things a little bit more, get a little bit more in depth in the description of the patterns and things like that. So this is not a traditional knitting game show, but it's going to be the norm for a while, and it's been going on this way for a month. If you watch some of the older episodes, you'll see what I'm talking about, where, you know, I'll have things up to a vote, you vote on the website and whatever. So let's get into what project I've been working on that's knitting game related, and that is my Vittorio shawl. It's a shawlette. It's kind of like a scarf. It's really cute. So the Vittorio is really, it's think of the Hitchhiker, but a little bit different. It is written by Karina Ferguson for Picnic Knits, and here is a version of it. Now, the test version, or the sample photo, was knit out of Diabolical yarn, and I too was able to choose. I put it up for a vote, because not only do folks get to vote on patterns, but they also get to vote on yarn for a project. So the winner, I put it up to a vote, and the winner was a yarn from Diabolical. So, Rachel, you're going to kill me. You told me what it was, and I can't remember how to pronounce it. It's Wonder Woman's, like, home island. If you know what that is, that's the name of this yarn. So, I had a pronunciation key and everything, but I forgot to look it up. So this is how it is so far. I didn't look to see how many percentage points I got into it, but we're still going well. I only knit on this last Thursday night at knit night, and I was the only one that was able to make it because other folks had really important fun things to do on Thursday. So I went to knit night and just sat there and kind of like stalked the people in Barnes & Noble and just had a good time. So you can see this is where I was the week before. So I've knit this much. It looks like it's about 8 rows again. So that's pretty good. And here's the yarn in a hank, sorta. I'm knitting these on size 6, I want to say. Size 6. 4.0 millimeter Chaogu red lace. These are the fixed circular needles. They are not my interchangeables. So that was the back and this is the front. So, and then as Callie mentioned on their last show, yes, I'm going to show the bag too. So there you saw the project and here's the bag. It's my little Zen Master zipper pull bag with a front facing pocket and wrist strap, and that's from Pixie Knits Designs. And if you don't know, I'm Pixie Knits, so I made the bag. Shameless self-promotion. Shameless. So that is my Vittorio, making good steady progress. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. I do have to admit, I have to look. There's 360 rows total, and I'm on row 122. So I'm just about a quarter way done, maybe about a third. Yeah, probably about a third of the way through, if I'm doing the math correctly in my head. I probably am not, but that's neither here nor there. All right, so moving on. I didn't do any pattern recommendations this week because I forgot to. I just deleted them because I don't have any queued up to talk about, so we're going to go straight into works in progress. So the only other thing that I have worked on this week, besides my Vittorio, knitting-wise, are my Aurora socks. So when we spoke last week, and let's see if I can do this without dropping all of my stitches. Here's where I was on my Aurora socks last week here at the stitch marker. And I have knit all the way up. I have done, I don't know if you can see, there is the heel gusset. Now this is a different construction. I'm using the heel construction on Wendy B. Johnson's pattern, toe up socks with a difference. And this puts the heel gusset on the bottom of your heel. So I'm actually going to be walking on this part. So the sides are smooth. You don't have a heel gusset, a traditional heel gusset on the sides. So it's on the bottom. So I've already done the short rows to start the heel flap. So I'm kind of in the middle of working on the heel flap right now. So what this looks like in the finished object is going to be this. So this is the back of the first sock. So once I get that heel turned and I do the heel flap up, I've got, what, about 12 inches of knitting or so, about 6 and 6 of just plain stockinette, and then my 3x2 ribbing that I like. I wish I could get these done for Friday because I'm going to wear a t-shirt that matches the colors, and I wore my lemongrass socks today at work, and somebody actually noticed and said, cool socks. So I'm like all about the hand knit socks right now anyways. So I want to keep cranking these out. I think if I always have a pair of socks on the needles, that'll be like really fun. So that is, let me give you some particulars on the Aurora socks. So the yarn I'm using is, oh, I guess I changed that. It's not the Aurora socks anymore. They're my Caribbean Cool socks. That's what I get when I don't do show notes every week, because I changed it. And I still have it in the last set of show notes as Aurora socks. But they are my Caribbean Cool socks. I am knitting those on Chowgu red lace needles, 2 1.5 US fixed 16-inch circular needles. The yarn is by Sunset Stitches. It's the Sunset sock base, which is an 80-20 merino nylon blend, and it's in the Aurora Borealis colorway, and you can find Sunset Stitches on Etsy. I have not done any work this week on my Rocky Coast cardigan. For some reason, just the mindless stockinette has really just intrigued me. I can't get enough of it, and it's really been a lot of fun. So no Rocky Coast cardigan, no Downton Abbey gauntlets, no Jason's sweater, which last week I told you I'm gonna have to change that into my sweater because I need a neutral gray sweater at work, because my one that I always wear has a hole in the elbow. And the next pair of socks that I'm going to knock out and finish, they have already been started but I haven't worked on, is the Don't Cage Me In socks by Heather of Highland Handmaids. So those are all, everything is in timeout right now. I don't have any stash enhancements for yarn this week, and I kind of have got some sad news yesterday. I picked up in January the 3 Irish Girls Stash Menagerie club, because I wanted to venture out of my comfort zone and pick up different yarn bases and try some different things. And unfortunately, 3 Irish Girls has decided, well, I guess not unfortunately, their business has just boomed and they can't keep up with the demand, and poor thing, I understand not having time with family. So she's decided to put some priorities in some places and rearrange the business model and everything. So she's still going to be dyeing, and they're still going to be selling just through yarn stores, local yarn shops. And some of those, like the Loopy U, are online retailers. So even if you don't have a local yarn shop that carries it near you, you can still get a hold of it. So I am not too sad. It's just that I like the mindlessness of it, you know. Surprise, you get a package in the mail and it just makes you feel really good, like, oh, I knew it was coming, but I didn't know it was coming today. And you know, it just kind of perks you up sometimes when you're down, and if it's something different, you know, it's something new to experience. Alrighty, so I'm rambling on. With that being said, let's move on to spinning. Alright, so last week I showed you I have some stuff. I showed you the Navajo Applied Blueberry Smoothie from Pagewood Farms. That is off the bobbin. I showed you this art yarn that I actually made the bat and I spun the yarn, and that's up for sale right now in my Etsy shop if you'd like to get some. If that is something that you would like more of, I do have more of the fiber. I can make more bats. So if you like the way the yarn looks but want to spin it yourself, just let me know and I can make you a bat and send it out. No big deal, because I still have some stuff, you know, all the same materials. So that could be fun. If you want a bat, just let me know. So that was off the bobbin. Excuse me. So I pulled a Steve and I put my stash, like I said, I've been really trying to put my stash up when it comes in the door. As soon as it comes in the door, I take a photo of it and I put it up in my stash page. So that's what I did. So I asked everybody to go out to my stash page, and the first person to come back to tell me what to spin, that's what I'll do. So immediately, like, spot on, spin this. And then the next person's like, well, spin this. And then the third person's like, well, spin the same as the first person, but do this colorway. I'm like, awesome. Okay, that's exactly what I'll do. So the winner was Wild Hair Fiber Studio Faux Cashmere. I love me some of Wild Hair's Faux Cashmere. I've spun it before, and it was really like Eastery colors. It was all very pastel. So I haven't really done anything with it. But this is a different colorway, and it's very, I think, mature. It's very fall-like, but I don't know. Anyway, so here it is. I'm spinning it up. Hopefully you can get a good idea. It's called Maple, Sugar Maple. So you've got some of this kind of red color here, and this orangish color, and this like brown color, and this deep red. And sometimes there's like spots where it's more white in the braid, and when it's next to the orange, so you kind of get this mottled, light colored, I don't know what you would call it. So there it is. So what I'm going to do is I've split it into kind of like 3 equal lengths off of the braid, because it comes very nicely packaged. And I sat down with my scale, and they're approximately the same. So I'm hoping to spin it very fine, as close to frog hair fine as I can get. According to the Fleece and Fiber source book, that's exactly what you want to do. If you're not mixing it with another fiber, you want to spin it fine. And you need to spin it fine enough, or put enough twist into it, because I guess enough twist to get it on the bobbin is not necessarily enough twist to get it off of the bobbin. So I'm really being very conscientious of how I spin it. So I'm trying to spin it fine, and then I'm going to 3-ply it. So that is that. Now the other thing that I worked on this week, and I finished it today. I haven't taken it off the bobbin. So technically it's still on the bobbin. But the Blue Mountain Handcrafts, their roll logs in the Woodstock colorway. Here it is. Oh, and it came out so pretty. I cannot wait to pull this off of the bobbin. And actually what I'm going to do with part of this is, and please excuse the dog barking, she's outside and somebody else is supposed to be letting her in, but she is outside right out there, so I can't go and get her. But what I'm going to do with the roll logs is I'm going to make a little mini skein, and I'm going to mount it in a shadow box. Now, I don't know if I'm going to put it in here or if I'm going to take it to my office and set it up, but I thought that would be kind of a neat way. It's kind of an artsy yarn. I mean, there's all sorts of goodies in here, so I think it would look really good in a shadow box. So that is what I'm going to do, and I think I'm going to do a collection of those, and I think that's going to be like a really neat thing. So there is that. Now I do have a stash update, stash enhancement. I got my Into the World Luxe Club shipment this week. This is 8515 Polworth silk, and it is in the Tuscadero colorway. And I don't know, I think it reminds me for some reason of melons. I guess this pink here and the green. When I first got it, it was like all in the bag. It wasn't braided. I did this. I hand braided it. So it's the pink and the green. I just kept thinking, yeah, melon, cantaloupe, honeydew, but it's not. Anyway, So that is all I have this week. So don't forget to stop by and say hi, and friend me on Plurk. That would be a lot of fun. Instagram, I love some Instagram. I also went ahead and did my stash for my fabric. So I have my fabric stash to share next week, because I have more than I ever thought. So that'll be a lot of fun, because I can make a lot of bags that I didn't realize I could. So good stuff there. All right, I think that is all I have for this week. I'm going to be trying out a new video software program, and it'll probably take me forever to get this posted tonight. So thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate it. And please come back again next week. So thanks everybody for coming. Bye. So here's my new studio space. I rearranged everything. So there's the sewing station and my swivel chair. And over here is the computer work center. And that I can swivel. So when I'm standing here at my cutting area, my cutting mat, cutting out fabric, I can swivel the computer and I can watch my podcasts and all that sort of thing. It's like a big TV, it's great. And then here are my new shelves that were graciously donated to me. So this is much, much better, much cleaner, much neater, much organized. So we have all of the books, so my knitting game books and sewing manuals and things of that nature. And there is my loom that I have yet to play with, but I'm sure I'll get there. And then, I don't know if you can see, the light's not very good right now because it's in the afternoon, but there's my drum carder and my dyeing supplies here on the bottom shelf. And then on the next shelf I have some fabric for garment fabric and interfacing, and if y'all know what that is, those are packages for the AF3 Sock Club, so it's the yarn and bags, my serger and irons, and here we've got my beads for my drawstring bags, zippers, ribbon. I organized my fabric stash, so those are all fat quarters cut and ready to go. And here's some stash that I don't have ready to go yet. Some bags that are cut out and being put together. And then I've got some spinning fiber stuff. And then my Swift and some tools, my spinning tools. And then some empty project bags. And all, this is my quarter shelf of shame. All these project bags you see in here are ones, that have projects in them. So, and up here on the top shelf right there, that is shipping supplies, my scale, some more tools, plastic bags, and this is stuff for photography when I take photos of my stash. So that is my new shelving unit. And then my cutting table, you guys have seen before the kind of storage I have in here. So usually I have the plastic totes full of stuff. So that's my fiber, that's my good yarn, my sweater bag. That tote right there is a tote full of my hand spun, and then you can see back there in the back I have some more yarn. So this is my new studio space. I thought you guys might like a little tour. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed.